Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am GM Minh Le here and welcome back to another game of speedrun. As I mentioned many times, the idea here is like I'm going to play one game of 10 minutes, a rapid, and I will try my best to explain the ideas here on the concept in the game and trying to show you guys what about my thinking process and the way to improve in general. So below it, I will still try to play one opening, like maybe a few openings, depends on what I feel that day, before I get to 1400. If I can get to like 1400, I guess I will try to be able to just, what I can tell, like talk about the things, and we'll try to be able to just play one opening so you guys can learn more. So let's start right away, and don't let you guys wait for more, right? Let's go. So here we are playing against a Turkish player, Kulan Shimi. I will play, he play e4, so play the Caro-Kann. Which, as mentioned earlier, is the thing that I suggested for people in the early level to play with black. One of the most solid and I think easiest way to play for black without having plenty of troubles and complexities. d5 here. Can play here. Okay, play ed5. I don't know why, but this thing is extremely common in early level. When opponent just like take on d5 and go for the exchange. So take with the queen normally will let c3, it's not fun to do. So you take with the pawn, which is a natural response. d4, knight f6. This is still the main way to play. So for black, the way to do is to get the bishop to f5 or g4, and you play here and you get a good development. So play here first to g4. Pin him, which seems fair enough, right? To e2, I play e6. Bishop is going to d6 here, and I will finish my development very, very soon. To g5, he will still go for the pin. So I can play here, I can play here, I can play here, I can play plenty of things. But I guess for early level people, I guess the easiest way to try to go for is just to block the pin and finish the development at the same time, right? So it should be 7 here. So you can see now, so I will be able to castle very, very soon, right? Bishop is on g4, so I don't need to be afraid of blocking my own bishop, isn't it? Which is an idea here to try. Kf1, this looks like a mouse slip, as I don't see any reason why he do not castle, It looks like a mouse slips. Who knows? And then this one actually was a bit odd too, and somehow what I can tell is like it's a thing that I don't know, they're not seeming too correct here. So just castle myself. That should be like a mouse slip, I feel. Knight e5, okay, he go for the threats. He right away. This is also a normal way to try when he go for that. Nice right now when I attack the pawn d4 and trying to challenge his knight in the center. Once again, a typical idea. Now black already got, I think, a very good development, and he can't be worse by any means. That's why actually I mentioned this is like the simplest way to play here in early level. Rook d1, he is also playing good too. But rook d1, so he wants to defend the pawn on d4, right? And trying to just bring the rook to the game. In fact here, so one of my idea I can do is that I can go queen b6, which I think is a good move. But here I am afraid of the idea to play the bishop here and then 97 when it can have potentially a fork, right? So just like play rook c8 first. I will bring my rook to the game first, which obviously will be, I think, very useful in this file sooner or later. Interesting, rook d3. He wants to go for the attack here, right? But okay, it's not that concerning. Let's play rook here, I guess so. If I bishop here in between and also trying to cover this kind of threats. So they have it. Bridge 3. Now, spawn can be taken, I believe. Okay, actually this is getting fun. Now d4 play queen d3 maybe when he can have the double attack here. I'm sure I'm fine there, but I'm trying to see all the ideas. Okay, I think this should be playable. d4. I decided to walk into some complications. I will be surprised if he can figure out all the ideas here, but if he can, I'm ready to go for that one too. d3, attacking both my pawn and my knight here, right? If I go like knight here to c6, I'm just like taking here and hitting f7 when I will be in some trouble. So I play knight f5 here. He can play g4, which is what I believe is the right way to try. But then I have knight g4, which I think is a very strong move. So play g4 with knight g4, and then if you play here, play knight e5, you know. When actually I have ideas here to attack this queen, and I think I'm okay. But as mentioned earlier, I will mention it later on in the game analysis. In the game, I play bishop here, so take you with the bishop, right? Not only I get his bishop right now, but also bishop here can be a good defender, and I get also a tempo on his knight as well, right? We are a pawn up, his king is a bit weak, his rook can't come to the game, and I think we got some very nice play as well. Knight 3, okay. So now he ran home. This shows like, okay, now he ran out of ideas and he started to retreat. So here once again we have many valuable choices, you know, valuable choices. I am thinking about going for direct attack by queen b6 and queen b2, which I think will be doing good, but g4 can be annoying. As a way of conversion, you don't want to allow any kind of counterplay or complacency, right? So what I'm doing here is that I will try to just play the move of g6. So I can bring bishop g7 here, defend my king. Also, I got bishop like that's bishop available, right? So I also prevent him to go here as well too. I can control all the things here, and now we can start launching our attack. Time for it. Time for it. King d2, queen b2. We take the pawn here, weaken his knight on c3, and in the meantime, putting pressure on him in the c file, right? This already looks very, very good. Knight d1. Now he run away, right? We win on the pawn here, and now we're 2 pawns up. So now I can go queen b4 checks. But I think I don't see any reason why I can't just stick on a2. After that, I can go rook c3, I go rook c4, doubling on a c file. I'm up 2 pawns now, and he got no counterplay at all. g4, knight d6. My knight can be brought to take him like e4, c4, and as you see here, right? I got his attack control. It seems scary at first, but then I got everything under control. You have no counterplay, and this obviously is winning, right? I genuinely see no defense. That's the thing. g5. So I can run home. I can also play here, but I guess we should play knight e4. Once again, touch him and go for the double attack, right? So now we can win one more pawn, which I think makes things become very simple. But I guess I don't want to do so. I will play bishop 7. I can take care indeed, guys, but his king is quite weak, so I want to keep my knight on e4 here. That can sometimes go for some direct mating pattern. Obviously, I can go for knight g5, you know, when we are 3 pawns up without no card to play. But I want to finish him in the most instructive way to try, and it put him into big pressure, right? Rook g1, rook c2. Take a pawn here, obviously, and now my rook also invades. Things are looking completely lost for him. He got no card to play. He's not in time to correct something special, and now it looks over. Rook g4 can be a try here to go for h4, but I just like play here, no? Or knight 2, or rook c1, or so many things here. Like it's over by so many ways. Knight d4. Okay, so now rook f2 works. I mean, so many ways to win a game, you know? But I guess I will go for the simplest option. Play rook d2. We got his pieces on the same file, so I think going for the material and going for the attack can be simply, like, you know, simply can be the simplest, you know, can be simplest. Could be 5. Okay, guys. So now, obviously, he fought for my last trick. Can you spot the mate here? There is a way that you can go for the mate, right? So there's a way to do that, obviously. Black can play plenty of things here, like rook c8 to defend rook here, for sure, right? Rook c8 or f8 or whatever it is. But here the best way to play is something that can be decisive. Rook d1. Checks. And now king here, right? Queen d2 is the way I can even try and remove that. Okay, and we're gonna game. Okay, I think a fairly beautiful game when we winning the pawns and we deal with his attack in a nice way, right? Nice way. So somehow what I can tell here is like it's a thing here that make it fairly good, and it is like the thing, you know, that allows me to go for a pretty smooth conversion. Let's go to the game first, and now it is my turn to answer all the questions from my chat. I'm sure now, so there will not be plenty of questions, but I will try to mention things myself so that you guys can understand more about the games. Sure? So in the game, we play the Caro-Kann d5. So obviously, white can play knight c3, can play e5. Many things are available. Like for instance, the main line is knight c3, you know, when here, and as you know, so lately there is a line that gets extremely famous, the alien gambit, right? So you know, obviously this one for sure. But okay, in my game, opponent go for e5, which I think in early level is incredibly common. So I think with the c pawn, obviously, right? d4, I have 6. So the idea for black to play in this Caro-Kann exchange is that I will just go knight to here first, control the center, and then I play bishop to g4 or f5, and obviously that helped me to get bishop out before I play e6, right? Which I think helped me to make sure that I do not block my bishop. For if you play here, for instance, right? Now my bishop here will be blocked, and then I will have difficulties to develop that in the future. So in the game, I play knight f6 here, c3, g4. As mentioned earlier, a very common idea, right? I think you can play both this and this. Which g4 I think is something that is more annoying for your opponent, and also it features an idea that I think people in a level love to try, right? DP. So g4 in the game, e2 here in the game, g5. I can play here, I can play here, but in the game I just want to play something the simplest. Bishop e7. It's one. When I just manage to block this pin, and also in the same time I can try and castle knight as well too. Here I suppose that he should try to like castles, but my plans that it just like castle as well too, you know, and then like maybe like e1 knight here. See it? The idea of black most of the time, guys, is to attack in the queen side, you know, using the rook, the knight here. Sometimes you can even go for the minority attack, you know. So I see actually here. If we block our bishop accidentally, that actually make it hard for you to play. Like let's say here, right? Let's say here and here for instance. So now the play up white is somewhat easier. He can focus on the king side attack, and I'm not a fan of these structures. But if you want this one, you can still play it, but you need to act, I think, pretty fast here in the queen side. For instance, like you play like rook b8 here, like b5, b4, or you can play here to go for b7 as well too, and bishop can be, placed reasonably in this diagonal. Sometimes you can even try and go for like e5, but this thing, you know, normally is very hard to be carried out. So in the game here, bishop e7 was play. You have one. Obviously, it is a mouse slip, right? I can't think of any other things. It clearly should be a mouse slip, right? It clearly should be a mouse slip. So in the game, castle as well too. Knight e5 takes, queen takes. Knight here as well too. So you can see here, so I just trying to deliver it properly. In fact, so now I realize that I missed queen b6. When 97 here is covered, right? And now I got double attack here as well, which may help me to win a pawn. I think that is probably the best way to try for me. And that shows like on the potential trouble that can be happening, right? Happening. And also what I can say that is like you know, I think it's like the best way to go for. But it also like show our clear idea, right? In this type of situations. In the game, so play queen e2, I play here. Rook d1, rook c8. Bring my rook to the game and get, I think, normal game as well. d3, he went for an attack. This rook, rook to h3, right? I think here I can still play here, I can play here, I can even play knight e5. This one is clearly the simplest way to deal with his attack. When after here and here, I can like let's say like play f6, you know, and give him some counter play in his own king side, right? When the game I went for something I think somewhat more confident because I have everything covered in my calculation. We get here in the game, reach 3, the pawn, queen d3. So if you play here for instance, right? You can play this, this, and this one. My king can probably run away, but obviously it's just not fun to allow some counter play, right? And it's not that necessary to put our king in trouble. So in the game, I play knight 5 here. So I think his main idea is to go for g4. But here I got it covered in my calculation, play knight g4. Exclamation mark. When take here, plus bishop, right? And you got no real counter play. If you play here, right, for knight e5. And now, so his queen is an attack as well too, right? Bishop d8 and d3 is fine for me. And queen here as well too. When I can deal with his attack nicely, and now he ran out of, I think, material, right? Just the way that you can try to deal with his attack. So in the game, he take here right away, take the bishops. And now his attack really dissipates. That's free. Play here to. This one I think is a very nice idea that I want to let you know. So you trying to deal with this attack in the diagonal, and also you open up a flush for the king. Normally this one is more natural, right? But here, so you can play this one because bishop here can cover some dark squares. And here, I'm a bit worried that in the future he can play like g4, and g5 with some annoying sacrifice, right? So I think this one is the way to deal with it, like the easiest. King e1, queen here, and now you're not gonna play. Obviously, this is when we start putting material, right? And his attack is no way to be seen in the game, so everything works smoothly. And you see, right? The pawn d2, and then we got the mate by force with a tactics, right? Which is fairly beautiful. So what I can say with this game in general is that somehow, so he played the opening fairly understandable. It is not his game only, but I think this kind of thing is super typical in this level. So just like trying bishop g4, do that properly, and go for the attack in the queen side, right? With like here, or some point even before. In the game, he mouse slip the castles and make it somewhat easy to play for me. Still, his attack in the king side was a bit scary. You don't know the way to deal with it in the game, so I think I deal with that perfectly and leave him with no chance to go for something special, right? And after I managed to, defend myself and prevent all of the potential danger, I start to take the pawn on b2, confirm my own attack, and when he cannot go to play, the game is kind of half actually decided, right? That's how things sit in the game. And obviously also a nice game as well, right? So in general, what I can say is like, it's a thing here that is not easy, and somehow what I can tell is like it's not something so simple as well, to be honest. Okay, so GG's there, and hope that you guys can learn from the games. Once again, so I am trying my best to improve my speaking and improve my, let's say, explanation. So I hope people can enjoy the games and people can understand what I'm talking about. Thank you for hearing, and we'll see you other games. Bye and peace.